Hi guys. Some people asked if I would video doing pages 14 and 15, so I'm going to do that right now, and this way you can check your work. Okay, so this is pages 14 and 15. Number one, you would set both factors equal to 0, so you say x minus a equals 0, add a, so x equals a. Therefore, choice C is the only choice that would work because it's the only one that has a positive a. But to find the other root, you would set x plus b equal to 0, subtract b, so x equals negative b. Okay, same thing for this question. You set the factors equal to 0, so x minus 3 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. So this would give me x equals 3, and this would give me x equals negative 2. They want the smallest one. Any negative number is always smaller than a positive number. Okay, so they want the smaller root again, so I'm only going to do the x plus 4 because I know that's going to give me a negative number. Okay, so far we have C, D, and B. And this is exactly what it would look like on a test. So we have x squared is equal to 36. You add 36 to both sides, take the square root of both sides, and you get choice D. Keep in mind that when you do a square root, you want to make sure that you pick both the positive and the negative square root. Okay? All right, so I'm going to factor number 5. When I factor this, I get x minus 3 and x plus 2. When you set the factors equal to 0, it's going to give you a positive 3 and a negative 2. Right, so if I factor this, I get x minus 3 and x minus 2. When you set the factors equal to 0, you get positive 2 and positive 3. Now, you can always check this. There's a couple ways that you can check these. The easiest way is substitution. So if I plug in a 2, I should get an answer of 0. If I plug in a 3, I should get an answer of 0. You can also graph these, and when you graph it, you're going to get a picture that looks like this. And if you look for the x-axis, you will find that it intersects the x-axis at both positive 2 and 3. So you can also look on the table. The zeros would be when y equals 0. So you'd be looking in your y column. There would be 2, 0, and there would be 3, 0. Okay, so you can also check it. All right, so factors, that's going to give me minus 2 and x minus 1. So when I set those equal to 0, I get the positives. Okay, so I'm going to factor this. I get x minus 6 and x plus 1. When I set the factors equal to 0, I get positive 6 and negative 1. Okay, so this one is a little bit harder to factor. It's one of the ones that you have to stretch. So I do 2 times 4, which is 8. I'm going to use negative 8x and positive 1x. From the front, I can pull out a 2x. And the leftover part, or the other factor part, is x minus 4. And that gives me a plus 1. So my factors are 2x plus 1 and x minus 4. So when I set this one equal to 0, 2x plus 1 equals 0, I get 2x equals negative 1, divide by 2, I get negative 1/2, which is choice A. Okay, so for page 14, I have C, D, B, D, A, B, B, D, A. By this point, you should be able to do this by yourself. If you are struggling, you need to reach out, okay? Divide by 3, x squared is equal to 9. Square root both sides. You get x is equal to plus or minus 3. They only want the positive root, so the answer is 3. Okay, sometimes you have to make sure you're actually answering the question that they asked. That's really important. Okay, so here we go. 3x squared plus 5x minus 8 equals 0. So if I could divide by 3, that would be great, but I can't. So I have to do 3 times 8, which is 24. So that's 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, or 4 and 6. I'm going to choose the 4 and 6. Nope, I'm not. I'm going to choose the 3 and 8. All right, so I'm choosing the 3 and 8. And I just got to erase this because I don't have a lot of room on this paper. Obviously, you can do this on scrap paper if you want. So I get 3x squared plus 8x minus 3x minus 8 equals 0. From the front, I can only pull out an x, and that gives me 3x plus 8. Remember to use that 3x plus 8. And from the back, I'm pulling out a -1. So I get x minus 1, and I get 3x plus 8 equals 0. They only want the positive root, so it's going to come from this one here. So x minus 1 equals 0, so x equals 1. All right, number 12. For proportions, you want to cross multiply. Remember, product of the extremes is equal, the product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes. All right, so 2x squared plus 5x equals 7. 2x squared plus 5x minus 7 equals 0. I'm going to factor that. So be great if I can get rid of the 2, but I can't. So I got to work with 14. 14 is not a bad number. 1 and 14 or 2 and 7. So it's not a lot of choices. 24 is one of the harder ones because there's so many choices, but I mean, it's not awful. Minus 2x minus 7 equals 0. From the front, I can pull out an x. That gives me 2x plus 7. And from the back, I'm keeping that 2x plus 7. So that's going to be a -1. All right, so x minus 1 equals 0. 2x plus 7 equals 0. So x equals 1. They only want the positive one, so I can stop there. Obviously, you can keep going, but I'm going to stop there just because I don't want this video to be too long. Again, cross multiply, product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes. This is a perfect square trinomial. You really have to start recognizing them. Okay, I'm going to subtract the 4, so x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. That gives me x minus 3 and x plus 1 equals 0. So x minus 3 equals 0, so x equals 3. X plus 1 equals 0, so x equals -1. All right. That x is fine because the only x that it can't be is 1 because that would make the denominator 0 and therefore the fraction is undefined. All right, so cross multiply, you get 3y plus y squared equals 2y squared minus 2y. I'm going to move everything to the right. So 0 is equal to y squared minus 5y. So y times y minus 5 equals 0. So I get y equals 0, and I get y minus 5 equals 0. So y equals 5. This is not allowed because that would make the denominator 0. It says state positive. 0 is not positive. It's not negative, but it's not positive. So the correct answer is 5. Okay, 15. Cross multiply, you get 12. 12x plus 36 equals 3x squared. I'm going to move everything to the right. So 0 equals 3x squared minus 12x minus 36. I'm going to divide everything by 3. That'll make it a little bit easier. So x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals 0. So x minus 6 and x plus 2 equals 0. That's going to give me x equals 6 and x equals -2. Both answers are good. All right, again, cross multiply to solve a proportion. equals 10. Set it equal to 0. So negative 10. So x minus 5 and x plus 2 equals 0. Therefore, let me go right here. X is equal to 5 and x is equal to negative 2. Both of those answers are valid because the only thing x can't be is 0. It actually said that somewhere on the page here. Like if you look at number 12, it says solve algebraically for the positive value of x, comma, x does not equal 0. The reason they're saying that is because if x was 0, that would make the fraction undefined. Okay? So again, this was pages 14 and 15. This was your classwork that you were supposed to do on Thursday, March 26th. Again, try to keep up. It's just for pacing. If you can do, 20, 30 minutes a day, you'll stay on track. We are going to have to start introducing more new things each day if this stay-at-home order continues. Because we do, have to finish the class. It's important, and I want you to get your high school credit. All right, so that's it for this homework review. Well, not homework, classwork review. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Take care, stay safe, and have a good day.